when you got to the airport in America the first time, you said that somebody said, how are you doing?
So I was genuinely just explaining like how I was doing. Well, I had a long flight and this happened. I'm coming to my fiance Marcus. I'm so excited. And they're like, are you okay? I kept doing it for several weeks and people, reacted.
Yeah.
And at some point I asked you and you were laughing your ass off, honestly.
Yeah, because every time somebody would ask you how you're doing, you were like explaining
genuinely, like
how
from the bottom
you were doing.
Of my heart.
I think it would be better if we all did that, to be honest. If you actually genuinely were asking how you're doing and you genuinely answer that question, I think that'd be awesome. Welcome back to Raise Your Connection. This is the 4th episode, right? And this one's a special episode because my guest today is none other than Dominika Thompson, my beautiful wife and business partner.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Glad to have you. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Okay.
I'm being stupid. Sorry, guys.
No, we're very goofy. So I guess I'm very honored to be your 4th guest.
Good.
And I can't tell you enough. I'm on the wife level. I'm just so proud of you.
Well,
this is the 4th episode.
We're making progress. So today's a special episode because whenever this airs, whenever we release this, is going to coincide with the anniversary of Dominika being here in America, and it'll be 10 years. 10 years. How crazy is that? Is that crazy?
I honestly think it's crazy. It's completely crazy.
Yeah?
Somebody would have told me 12 years ago, I'll be sitting on a couch somewhere in Washington State with my husband and business partner, like Raise Your Media hoodies. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I would think that's crazy too, but so we should explore it, right?
Sure.
So for everyone that doesn't know, what country are you originally from?
I am originally from the beautiful country of Poland.
Poland. I have come to love Poland since I've gone a few times, since this is your homeland. And man, I almost hate to tell everybody Poland's amazing, because to me it's kind of like a secret. Because when people want to go on vacation, they go, oh, I want to go to Paris. Oh, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to whatever, right?
Right.
You never hear Poland, and I kind of like that because Poland is great.
We are definitely a tourist destination, hidden gem of Europe.
I know.
You get your beautiful architecture, you get culture, great food, you get that good blend of just enough Western, just enough Eastern European vibes. But to my all fellow American tourists, your dollar stretches faster. Sorry, faster. It doesn't stretch faster.
It doesn't stretch faster. Farther. We don't want to stretch the dollar faster.
Fast because whenever you figure out how far it stretches, then you start spending fast.
Yeah, then you spend
fast.
Yeah. But usually the conversion rate is really awesome. That's one of the reasons it's awesome. But like she said,
it's changed over time. But
of course, the cuisine, which you cook for me a lot.
Yeah, probably too much.
I'm a little spoiled when it comes to getting Polish food a little bit. Anyway, so Poland is a hidden gem. If you've never been, I definitely recommend it, but don't tell too many people how awesome it is. So before you moved here, had you ever been to America before?
Yes, I actually have been to America before. As you well know, I was singing in a professional choir for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been really great. The name of the choir is, I think they're still on, honestly. The
Really?
same director, yeah, the same voice teacher, as far as I'm concerned. But we were a typical Catholic church in Tarnów, Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very professional. I am former soprano. Our sopranos were famous all over Europe. We were touring. And at some point, we made it to Chicago. We did a little choir student exchange. At first, the American choir came to us, and then as a part of the exchange, we went there.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to sing in McDonald's for a burger as a little joke. Yeah, because we've had McDonald's at that time already, but
yeah,
they made us sing for McDonald's. And we came to America with a cover of a Beatles song, "Let It Be."
Okay.
So we're like, when I find myself in times of trouble, and to a little choir of little girls at McDonald's.
How old were you?
I was probably, I think, 12 at that time.
You were 12
13.
and you. Okay. So you said you were.
Or
you
14.
said.
Oh my gosh.
You said the Sopranos. They're the only ones who traveled. Were the Sopranos?
No. It takes the entire choir to have a repertoire.
So it's Sopranos, altos. What else?
Sopranos, second sopranos, and altos. That's the female voices.
And what are the dude voices?
The dude voices are sopranos, alts.
Is it tenor?
Tenors, and.
I know more than you do.
Probably. I was just singing my soprano.
I'm just messing with you.
But the deal is, I sang at McDonald's.
Okay.
And we didn't like it that much, but mostly we had a full tour.
You really sang at McDonald's?
Yes, we did. We sang at McDonald's.
They set it up like the corporation did?
No, we sang on the airplane. That was before 9/11, so we all had the pilot was flying the plane. We're like, "Hey girls," and we're singing our "Let It Be, Let It Be." So it's the cute little choir. So they allowed us to go to the cockpit, and I still have a picture. I hope I will find it so we can screen it. When I was sitting on the pilot's lap, like happy, and the pilot is smiling. I'm smiling.
The whole choir took turns.
Yeah. All the girls, like the pilot was probably in heaven.
Holy moly!
That was so funny.
That's crazy.
Wild times.
Yeah, you can't do that now.
You cannot.
No. So you traveled.
But I did visit. I visited Chicago, and I went to the Sears Tower. It blew my mind when I was like, looking at the transparent floor, and it's like, oh my goodness, the skyscrapers, the life. That's American dream they sold us for years.
Okay. So you came to Chicago. Chicago was the only city?
No, we went to Chicago, then to some other small towns in Indiana.
But it was in Illinois and Indiana?
Yeah, Illinois, Indiana, and maybe a little bit of Michigan. I don't remember.
Okay.
Like wherever there were churches willing to get us to, or at schools, and we had a little orchestra with us, and one lady on a cello, on violin, on a flute, and we had some soloists. That was very amazing.
You were part of sounds like a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing, and I don't think every tourist gets to have that sort of experience being first time in America just performing. It was super cool.
So
never forget it.
So when you say Chicago, I have to bring this up.
What?
I think Chicago has the biggest Polish American population.
Yes, there is a Polish district called Jackowo, and it's completely Polish people took over Jackowo, and so now they're supposedly the population goes to suburbs, right?
Does Jackowo mean anything?
Jack is Jacek.
Okay.
But I have no idea what the etymology of this is. I don't know.
I've seen video of them, like the Polish president coming over here to Chicago to make sure they get to the people in Chicago, because they still
when
very
they're
heavily
campaigning,
they still pay attention to Polish politics, and
very
they vote.
Conservative Catholic community.
Yeah.
First waves of immigration. That's Chicago.
So Poland is Catholic, like you said.
Supposedly 95% is declared as Catholics, but I don't think, honestly, spiritually, everybody's there.
Okay, but for the record, the Catholic Church is, I guess, the Catholic Church is heavily in Europe in general, right?
Depending on the country, I believe it's more Spain, Italy, and Poland. Honestly, like Czech Republic, Slovakia, not necessarily.
Okay.
Ukraine, that's Eastern Orthodox, and obviously Russia is Eastern Orthodox too. But yeah, Poland, Polish people think they're really the most important, biggest Catholics of the world. And,
well, I'm gonna add to that because I think that John Paul II.
That was our Jesus.
Is the most famous pope ever.
Yeah.
Give me a more famous pope.
He's very famous in Poland too till this day.
Yeah. So yeah, when I went to Poland, I saw statues of him.
Yep.
Yeah. So hey, represent the Poles.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so, but you came to Chicago, you went to Illinois, you did your choir thing. Other than that, you didn't come to America before anymore?
After that experience, no.
Okay, all right. So,
until, of course.
Until 10 years ago.
You. I mean, 11 years ago, probably I flew in to visit you for the first time for Christmas.
Right,
remember?
Right. So, what were you doing before? No. What were you? What was your career before you moved? Before you moved to America?
After I stopped singing in a choir as a little girl, I was in high school, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you have any interesting stories, I don't want to.
You don't want to
make you go through all of it. Okay? I was going to say, what was your career? But if you got stories, fine. Let's go.
I honestly wanted to continue my art career.
Okay.
But my dad. He was a very, conservative guy, and I am the firstborn. So all the hopes in terms of making shit happen in life were on me.
Set the standard.
I set the standard, but also, nobody told me that you don't have to listen to your father or his possible college choices. So he said, "Oh, you will never make it as a journalist," because I wanted to study journalism, biotechnology. I almost made it to biotechnology, but I kind of didn't. I was only allowed by my father to study foreign trade because he said economics is there. You have to take business studies. That's how you will make your money. You will never stop even thinking of singing. That's what I will pay for. So yeah, that's Adam, and you know him.
Yeah, I know Adam very well.
That's my dad. And in between, he did help me start my first business. That was a little wholesale with art equipment, with some paper. It's very much like a compact little Home Depot, but we're very little. But that paid in a way that somehow helped pay for my college. And while I was in college, I picked up my first job. I thought, it's my first job. It ended up being my only 9-to-5 job I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
I got hired in a corporate world in the craft foods. In Poland, we said Kraft Foods Polska.
Kraft. You got to roll the
Kraft
R.
Foods Polska.
Kraft Foods.
But Kraft it was Kraft Foods. Anyway, I spent there 11 years, and my career was quite interesting, I think. Whenever I started there, I was 22, very young girl. And they got to mold me however they wanted. So I learned some sales techniques, some professional communication training, and all I had to do was just sell that coffee, sell that chocolate, later on sell Oreo cookies, whatever Kraft Foods decided to roll out in Poland. Sales reps were responsible for placing it in the proper, shelf spaces and proper pricing, and just make sure it's selling. And I started as a sales rep, and then I got promoted to account sales rep, and then to area sales manager. And then I got involved. I moved from Polish city Krakow to Warsaw, to the capital city, and then I became a area sales manager. And my role was basically to lead the team of a wonderful sales rep. If they will ever watch it, I highly doubt it. I don't pay attention. I'm sorry. It's been so many years.
Maybe they'll watch
But I love them so much. Every single person of the team, I still have very warm feelings and amazing memories. So I was the youngest manager, sales manager in the country, and one of 2, maybe 3 women in the country, which is insane.
That were in sales?
They were as a sales manager, the management, and I was in part of some leadership programs, talent programs. I got to have youngsters who were some sort of like rewarded by like being the best students, and they had their little part of their sales training under me.
Nice.
That was cool. And all my employees were older than me, mostly male, but they embraced me like nobody else. And we've had an amazing team for, I guess, I don't know, about 5 years.
Okay.
I think so. 4 or 5 years. And then I got involved in some projects that had sales and marketing in it, and I got to consult a little bit in between the marketing and sales and get involved in cool campaigns. We rolled out Oreo cookies in Europe, and I got to organize like a national campaign with the milk producers in Poland. So we can we were kind of trying to teach Eastern Europeans like why the hell they should be dipping Oreo in milk. What does that umami moment? You dip it, you try it, and then you know it.
Okay, so can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Milking cookies, that's not a thing in Poland?
It's a thing, but in general, like, I don't know who came up with that idea that Oreos just taste so good with milk.
I mean, that's how it was over here too. You dunked it in the milk, or there was the argument, is it better if you pull it apart first and then dunk it, or if you keep it together, or if you pull it apart and get the frosting off first, then dunk it? Like, it was a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up something too that you told me about your job. You said that, so you studied foreign trade, right?
Yeah.
And so you were responsible for whenever someone from another country flew in that was within the company.
Yeah, we were responsible for international audits.
International audits? That's what it was?
Called.
Oh, so that wasn't fun.
Sometimes we got to, at some point, it was fun because you got to have a little higher budgets and your stores looked great always because there was some official person from Kraft was
so somebody would fly in and you would take them to the stores.
And we were showing them beautiful stores and how well the sales team is doing, how well the marketing team is doing. And it's not like you're painting the reality, but when you get to have some heads up, I was always telling my sales reps, we are just showing these stores on their best day.
Yeah,
what's wrong with that?
There's
That's
nothing
amazing.
wrong with that. You're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's.
Yeah, and I've had an amazing team. I visited all those stores all the time. Like, they knew what they have to do, and they kept those stores beautiful, and everything was great. The product was selling, and then I met you. You ruined everything. Just kidding.
I ruined your life.
Yeah, in a way.
So, okay. So, yeah, fast forward to we met. And you got, like you said, we talked back and forth, flew back and forth, and then finally you moved here. It was May 15th of 2015.
10 years ago, I remember you picked me up from the DFW airport, and the first time I was there during the
first time you flew there was for Christmas. One year,
and then I was like, what's this heat about? What's going on? I had that hot wave.
Oh, when you came back for
I would like to be here.
Texas heat. It's not like everywhere else. I will say that it's quite hot.
Yeah.
But speaking of one of the first times you flew here, I kind of want to go into like cultural things now, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So when you got to the airport in America the first time, you said that somebody said, how are you doing?
Yeah, when they said, how are you doing?
Okay, wait, before you go, let me just break it down real quick. So in Poland, when you see somebody, you greet them, you go, dzień dobry, right?
Yeah.
And it means good day?
Yeah, dzień dobry,
dzień dobry, good morning, good day.
It sounds like good morning, but you can use it all day long.
Yeah, you use it all day. You can say dzień dobry.
It's an official formal greeting.
Right.
Yeah.
So how are you doing is not really a thing in Polish, right? Like, how are you doing?
Well, how they teach us is how do you do?
How do you do?
And how do you do is more of a British, I think.
Yes, it is.
So I knew that how do you do, you should respond to, fine, thank you, how do you do? But
so
when I say, how are you doing?
Somebody say, how are you doing?
And for some reason, my brain did not make that connection. So I was genuinely just explaining like how I was doing. Well, I had a long flight and this happened. I'm coming to my fiance, Marcus. I'm so excited. And they're like, Are you okay?
You were.
Like
She
nobody
was.
cares.
Yeah, she was going through customs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have time for all that.
How are you doing today? It's like, actually pretty amazing. Yeah.
They didn't want to hear all that. They just want you
And
to say, "I'm doing well."
Yeah, and I don't think I told you right away because I kept doing it for several weeks and people reacted.
Yeah.
And at some point I asked you, and you were laughing your ass off. Honestly, you loved all my Polish mishaps. You love, you adore.
Yeah. Because every time somebody would ask you how are you doing, you were like explaining
genuinely, like
how
from the
you were
bottom
doing.
Of my heart.
Yeah, like really, just this is how I'm doing today.
Because that you're an immigrant, you come here and you want to be nice. Like why not? I want everybody to. I love Polak's jokes. A good Polak joke is a funny joke, but I was like, why don't I just represent my nation the right way? Because we are beautiful immigrants. We know how to assimilate. We know how to merge cultures. We are great. And I wanted to be that person. And when somebody, genuinely asked me, how am I doing? I was just going for it,
Yeah. I think it would be better if we all did that, to be honest. If you actually genuinely were asking how you're doing and you genuinely answer that question, I think that'd be awesome.
I've had people here just tell me not so good, but I know, but now
I've had it happen too.
I'm smarter after all these years. Like I'm not getting into it. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so you get over here. Do you want to talk about the process of becoming? Because you're a U.S. citizen now.
Yes, I am. I hold 2 passports. I am an official Polarican.
Was that a difficult process? Was it an easy process?
It was a time-consuming process. That's for sure. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Did America give me everything I could have hoped for and more? Absolutely. But it's a lot of waiting, especially when you land in a state that's immigration heavy, right?
Oh, yeah, Texas.
There's many.
There's a long line.
Applications for those green cards and visas, and we did it the way the system designed it, right? We applied for a fiancé visa, and I came here intentionally
the K1.
To marry you.
It was called K1 visa.
Yeah, we did the 90-day of fiancé version of it and we forgot that we have to get married, remember?
Yeah.
We were having
a good time.
So that's the best, I guess, testimony to my genuine intentions of coming here. It's like, holy moly. It was like, I don't know.
We probably had like
of October.
We probably had like a month left. Yeah.
Wait a minute, we have to get married.
Yeah, we gotta get married.
How do we get married? Remember?
Yeah. We figured out we could just go to the Justice of the Peace. Go get that done, and we got it. So yeah, that's so fitting for us.
So fitting. And then because I was forcefully unemployed for so long. I said, why don't I take over? Why don't we? And we fired our amazing lawyer. Because when she was there, everything was going on track.
I wouldn't say we fired her. We just said, hey, we can take it from here.
Yeah, exactly. Because I said, I need something to do.
Right.
So I took over the lawyer job. Don't ever do it. And it took a little longer because I think I messed something up with the Social Security. Remember?
Well, I think
I could have made it. It could have.
You could have gotten a job sooner.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Yeah.
At least 1.5 years more longer than I expected for it to be. But you know that your wife cannot just be still.
Yeah.
So I was writing the business plan and figuring out all the operations and ins and outs of our business. So I guess it was a nice little vacation from 11 years of a corporate career. That was a good break. It got a little stale at some point.
Oh yeah.
But
you know what? In your defense on the whole doing the process thing.
Yeah.
Remember, if we didn't, there was one point where we hadn't heard anything for a while. We hadn't gotten anything in the mail or anything, and we called the whatever immigration or whatever, and we set an appointment with you. You said you'll never forget that guy's name.
Officer Carpenter. He
That-
was
that
a
was his name?
vital. I will never forget because he was
That was his name?
vital. I will never forget because he was so kind, so amazing. And he said, "Oh my goodness, you're waiting for so long. Oh, this is exactly what you have to do."
We were in limbo, and he
in
figured it out.
complete limbo.
We were
And
just
I think
nobody was checking on us.
the guy was the sweetest, and he walked us out to our car. He was like waving.
Very nice.
The Officer Carpenter, and he was somewhere. Oh my gosh, in that immigration in that office.
Immigration office in
USCIS. I will never forget.
Yeah, USCIS.
Office. It
in
was
Fort Worth.
back in where was it? Where was the
I
address?
can't remember the specific
You
address.
remember?
I don't.
You do, because that's the neighborhood you didn't like. You tell me, Dominika never drive there on your own. Like, remember? You
Sure,
just give
but
me
I
all
don't.
the weird neighborhood.
I know, but I don't remember specifically. It's whatever.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that guy was a saint. A godsend for sure.
Officer Carpenter. Yep.
Yeah.
That was one of the few pleasant experiences we had with government
USCIS.
employees.
In general, I don't think they like
Government employees aren't very happy
dealing
people.
with people. I'm not saying with immigrants or not, but
No, people in general, because we don't like them
No.
either.
What?
I would say most Americans don't like dealing with government employees. Okay, you know what? I'm going to speak for myself and people that I know. We don't like dealing with government employees because they're usually in a bad mood. There was one other good employee, two, whenever we were in Seattle.
Yeah.
There was the lady at the front counter. Remember her?
See, I don't remember the lady. Like, see.
She was just so sweet because you meet so many people who aren't sweet.
Yeah.
At the front counter.
I remember there was a nice lady there.
And then the lady who finalized and actually was like, "Hey, you get your citizenship." That lady was nice. Remember her?
Yeah, I
So
do.
there were three nice people out of the whole situation. Oh, but you know what? We had to do this interview early on.
Oh.
Where they're trying to figure out if like I'm basically like a pimp and she's like a prostitute, and if they're trying to see if she's safe or if she's in danger. I guess that's how they pose it, right?
Yeah.
And there was some kind of documentation that you wanted to bring.
Yeah,
and I was like,
for those interviews, you get a list of items that the government is expecting for you to have in order.
Mm-hmm.
And on the very bottom of that list, there was one document. And I remember I told you, "Sweetheart, we don't have that document." And you're like, "Oh, there's no way in this world the guy will ask about it." The first document.
Well, then because they have it. They have it in the system.
The first thing they asked about was that document. And I forgot we were in the interviews. I told you when we started fighting.
We started arguing.
And the guy admitted, "Look, oh, yeah, you guys are good."
He based on us having an argument and like
the genuine marriage interaction.
Yeah, he was like, "You don't need to convince me of anything." And we got through that interview with flying colors.
Yep.
That was pretty funny. So that guy was nice. So there was 4 nice employees.
Yeah.
But
I guess
that's about it. Because anytime you go do something
follow-ups,
with the
waiting
government,
forever.
Yeah.
It's a process. But I just want for everybody to know the system is designed for people who want to use the system, and it's designed to welcome you in this country, to give you every single opportunity there is.
Absolutely.
And if you play it by the books, I don't want to get to legal, illegal.
We won't go into politics. Yeah.
But the point is, it's possible. Because I do know other immigrants, like, it's doable. You can make it happen. And I have to tell you, Americans will embrace you with open hearts, with open arms. I've met so many amazing people in Texas and then here in Washington State.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know. I don't want to over-exaggerated American dream, but I do truly believe it's still possible.
Well, you have your own
business.
business.
Have the right attitude. We've built a business here. And whenever I remember till this day, what should you really pack?
Oh, to come over?
Yeah, to come over. And whenever you have this choice, okay, you have your apartment, you have your stuff, and you have to move across the world. What do you choose? And you know what I packed when I sent you for the first time with my stuff? I packed my vinyl collection and my books.
Yep.
That was it. Everything else,
some clothes.
And some clothes. I either donated or gave away to my family and friends. But that vinyl collection and those books, I just had to have them.
Yeah. We both love vinyl, listening
We
to
do.
vinyl.
That's how
so.
we connected.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I remember I was like kind of touched by it. Like, oh, so this is what my life boils down to. Wherever I go, I have to have my music and my books with me.
Hey, so just one more story about the immigration thing. Do you remember when you were there? I think for the final part of getting your citizenship, you said there was a lady there, and she kept saying yes to everything or something.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable telling that story?
I mean, sure, because there was like an open space.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. So what was going on?
You know, you're asking like, have you ever been involved in any crime, or have you ever got involved in a human trafficking? And the poor lady, she was like, yes, yes, and everybody tried to help her. And I was like, ma'am, were you involved in any criminal activity?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure if she made it, but I remember the guy who was interviewing me for my final citizenship. You know, he lost it. We both lost it. Like, poor woman.
Oh, you both were laughing.
Yeah, we couldn't. Sweetest thing, but how did you make it? Like with very little, you know.
Yeah, how do you not speak the language or a little bit of it?
What? So what? She made it this far. She did her stuff right, you know.
I don't know, man. If I'm gonna immigrate to Poland, I'm gonna learn.
Oh yeah, how many sentences in Polish can you say?
I can say
after 10 years.
I can say a few sentences.
Say my beautiful wife. We didn't.
Moja piękna żona. Is that it? Moja piękna żona.
Holy moly, you still remember?
Of course. Yeah. And my go-to is what is it?
You don't know your go-to anymore. Have to visit.
My go-to if I go to Poland, I don't try to speak the language. I just see who can speak English, and whether you're talking to a man or a woman, you say so. Excuse me is przepraszam.
Przepraszam.
You know what? I forgot. Wait! Don't tell me.
Do you understand English, right?
Yeah, it's rozumiem. Czy rozumiem?
Czy pani?
Czy pani. So czy pani is woman. Czy pan is man, right?
Yep.
So if I were talking to you, I'd say czy pani rozumiem po angielsku.
But I like that Duolingo. There was a Duolingo, I think.
No, that was Pimsleur.
But I like that they made that.
Yeah.
You know, they made sure to teach you the sentence that will kind of get you out of trouble.
Right.
Because if they do speak English, why bother?
I use it in Poland. Hey, czy pan rozumiem po angielsku? And they start smiling like, yeah, I speak English. So because they like, oh, at least he tried, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to America, right?
Sure.
So you got your citizenship. And you have your own business.
We have our own business.
Okay, we have our own business. How would you say that process, as far as getting your own business and building that and being able to develop that, do you have any information or knowledge on if that's difficult in Poland to do versus here in America, or do you know?
Yeah, as I mentioned today, I started my first business right before college.
But your dad was involved with that,
my father was involved, but I was also heavily involved in the process. I came up, my dad hated that name, but like I thought it's such a cool name. Dominik's, like, come on, like back in the day, like all the, companies, X, that's Dominik's, Phoenix.
So it had IX at the end?
Yeah, Dominik's with X. Said cheese.
And you sold office supplies?
Yeah.
Dominik's?
Yeah, I know. My father was like, what the hell is Dominik's? Like, what are you doing with this? And I was so proud of myself. Dominik's!
So, what did he want to name it?
I don't know. I didn't
well,
give
he
him
didn't
a
have
chance.
a name, so.
I didn't give him a chance. But his store was the coolest store ever. Music Box.
Music Box?
How cool is that?
That's a cool name.
He had a retail store with also art equipment and the music.
Yeah, I remember you told me he sold
that bag for collecting music. And I was the oldest. I am the oldest child, so he was taking me on that journey with him. So we were together negotiating with the vendors, and we were all merchandising for that at that time, and that was super cool. But the process is not that much harder, I think. The taxes are insane. You have to buy into the retirement and health insurance system, no matter what.
In Poland?
Yeah, and that eats up a lot of money. To everybody who thinks there's a free healthcare in Europe, there's not. It's the biggest misinformation I hear in America. So it is fairly easy, although the cost...
It's taxpayer healthcare. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So you have private, but then you have taxpayer.
It's all taxpayer. Yeah, the private, yeah, of course. But the taxpayer healthcare is the main healthcare. If you go to the hospital, it's usually government funded. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's not hard. It's just more expensive.
Okay, more expensive. I got you. The government gets more of a cut.
Yeah.
There we go. So is there anything else culture-wise that was weird for you or funny for you or strange to you that comes to mind?
Yes, whenever I saw a cowboy police officer in Fort Worth just riding on a horse across the streets, I was just like FaceTiming my family, like, what on earth is going on here?
They don't have horse cops in Poland?
They do not.
Really?
Or I am not aware of them if they have. But
I thought horse cops were everywhere.
Well, because you're true Texan.
There you go.
But that was a one big cultural difference. But it's also kind of funny because to go from Warsaw to Fort Worth, Texas, that's a pretty big shock. We are kind of under that impression that American cuisine, burgers and fries. And
but then you get to Texas,
so much more. Oh my gosh. 30 pounds plus for a reason. I can't seem to lose it. But people think it's mostly fast food, but the culture is so diverse.
We have so many different cuisines.
Every state is like a different country. The Cajun cuisine and the soul food. And you have your Tex-Mex, and then you have your clam chowders of this world. Like
Texas barbecue.
It's insane. So I think as Europeans, we have no idea how amazing, diverse, and flavorful American food is.
Yeah.
And that's a very sophisticated cuisine.
Oh, yeah.
Every state, and in general, the Southern cooking in general, right? There's so many.
The South is very much different than
the
West,
very much
the
different.
East, the North. Yeah.
Another cultural difference, just in general, the attitude of American people. And I say the attitude because that's the attitude I want to have for the rest of my time.
It's a collective attitude?
There's a common denominator. People kind of root for each other. In Europe, we tend to have that melancholic mentality. We tend to get sad. We can tend to be a little jealous, a little... We don't root for one another as much as people here. And marketing for businesses here, like how many feel-good stories we've launched where people were just genuinely happy that somebody has it good in life, that they achieved something, that they worked hard and they, I don't know, elevated their lifestyle.
I mean, we have our haters. We have our haters.
You do.
But people do genuinely wish
like
well for other people.
In general, that I feel like all that self-empowerment, life coaching deal, I am willing to bet this started in America. This is not a...
I mean, a lot of things started here.
Yeah,
that's what people don't want to give us credit for.
This is not verified information, but I think in general, the attitude, American people are more positive. And you know what? The not giving a shit attitude, that's also amazing.
Yeah.
Americans don't tend to treat their life so seriously.
Some of us do.
Some of us do. I'm saying one of us everywhere in Poland, in America. But in general, it's just that more positive attitude and just rooting for one another.
I think people...
Go get it, girl. Right. Go get it, man.
People we're inspired here at a young age. They even tell you, when you're a kid, They say you can be anything you want to be.
True.
That's the common thing you're told when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know about now, but when I was growing up, that's what they would say. You can be anything you want to be. And like, I think our culture, for the most part, it's kind of going away a little bit, but for the most part, our culture does push that narrative is you can be what you want to be. But it's funny that you talk about how in Poland it's different, because whenever we've been anywhere else in Europe besides Poland, and if I see an American, we'll be like, where are you from? Da, da, da. And we'll start talking to each other. We'll hang out, and
Polish people don't do it. I know what you're saying.
And then when you guys will see
and
Polish,
we traveled Europe together.
And you'll see Polish people, and we'll be with your family even, and you guys don't even acknowledge each other.
Enthusiasm, and it's funny because I don't know how the hell many Polish people think they're the only freaking Polish people in Italy or somewhere, and they talk shit about people like horribly, and then they're always like listening.
Yeah,
what they're gonna say.
Yeah,
it's awful.
But I
don't know why we do it. We shouldn't do it. We should acknowledge each other and welcome one another and just like be happy. That's what we need to acquire from American culture.
Well, I was gonna say, in your defense, in Polish people's defense, and any European people for that matter, Europe is kind of like one big country in itself.
Oh, and how cute of a perspective.
And you guys travel to each other's countries all the time, so it's not a big deal.
That's the concept
if you see
of
another
European
Polish person.
Union, my love.
So like, if you see another Polish person, it's not a big deal. It's like,
it's not a big deal.
So I kind of get that.
Yeah.
Whereas if an American sees another American in like Spain,
overseas,
it's like, whoa, hey,
but I think it's also you.
Yeah.
You're like that.
But I remember I was in Prague one time, and I hadn't said anything to anybody, and I was just walking down the sidewalk, and an American came up to me. He just knew I was American, and he was like, "Hey,
why did he know?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe I don't look African. But anyway,
what does it mean to look African?
Well, I'm black, so you're either going to be from Africa or
white,
America, right?
So where am I from?
Well, you can be from anywhere in Europe. Anyway, so he goes, "Hey, do you know where this place is?" And I was like, "Dude, I just landed. I have no idea where I am." He's like, "Oh, all right. Well, have fun." I was like, "Yeah, you have fun too." So, anyway, so are there any other cultural differences that you want to bring up?
I come from a very mostly white people country and single religion. Americans tend to hate on one another. There is a big racial issue in the country, obviously. But I absolutely adore the fact that I have a friend group here where a Mormon lady is a part of it, and the far left ladies are a part of it, and me somewhere in between. Who knows? It's hard to pinpoint me. And we spend time together. We love each other, and everything is kind of, I don't know. I feel like, despite the fact that there's so much division in the country now, Americans know how to have fun, how to tolerate one another. There is still that aspect of a melting pot. And I think the more we talk to each other, the more, and we're like the openness to other cultures. At first I was very shocked. Oh, where did you learn English? Like, what do you like? People want to know more about you.
Yeah, they're curious about you.
But the second later, they will maybe introduce you to a friend. If you own a business, in a moment, you know 5 other people. You have been invited to some local chamber of commerce. That doesn't happen in Poland.
Oh, really?
No. So I guess the networking aspect of it, but also in a social layer.
Well, let me ask you this.
Right there.
Let's say I went to Poland and we were going to live there for a while.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen to me. I wouldn't meet new people, and they wouldn't want to introduce me to
more people. They would probably introduce you to their friends, but people don't have that habit of thinking, how can I connect this person? Wait a minute. How do we like this? Embracing part is a part of American culture. I think that's why America is one of the greatest countries ever.
The greatest.
Oh,
the greatest.
Poland is the greatest.
You know what? We can be tied for the greatest.
Sure, we can. Europe is amazing.
You mentioned cuisines.
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much pressure on you. What's your top 3 I'm not gonna say top cuisine. Let's say the top 3 cuisines or dishes, meal, whatever you want to say. The top 3 that you've had here in America.
I got fat in America for a reason, baby. Barbecue shrimp. That's my absolute numero uno.
That's
number
numero uno?
one. Yes, till this
Barbecue
day, I
shrimp,
love
okay.
me
So
a good
Cajun food.
Cajun barbecue shrimp.
Okay.
Then I have to give a shout out to Michael Thompson from
Michael's in Fort Worth. Yeah.
Fort Worth. The absolute best contemporary ranch cuisine. Chef MT came up with that. I absolutely love it.
What do you like there?
They have this pecan crusted goat cheese chicken breast. It's absolutely amazing.
Pecan crusted.
He also has amazing crab cakes. So in general, his creations, like,
I'm curious about this pecan crusted.
Yeah, the crust is pecan. We have to take you. You haven't eaten that?
I haven't eaten that. I've eaten Michael's food, but I haven't had pecan crusted chicken.
He just uses pecans as a crust.
And he bakes it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That sounds good.
And then my number 3, I would have to say a brisket.
Smoked brisket?
Yeah.
Texas style?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with brisket.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, like a good brisket it's good stuff. So barbecue shrimp, the chicken, the pecan crusted chicken.
Yeah.
And brisket.
Yeah. I'm a simple girl. I don't need much.
All right. So we got cuisine. You've visited so since you've been here, what other cities have you been to?
Or we want to say states.
Or states, whatever you want to say.
New York. Louisiana. Texas. Arkansas. Arizona. Utah.
New Mexico.
Then Colorado.
California.
Montana, and
dude, you've seen a lot.
Washington and Oregon, and I think that's it. I still have a lot to see. I am aware of that.
What's the most beautiful?
Washington State is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I can't.
It's pretty amazing.
I can't lie. Washington State and Oregon,
but Washington
are really beautiful.
Beautiful.
I still love Texas better, but beauty-wise, you can't beat the nature.
Yeah.
I put the nature against anywhere in the world. In the spring and summer. Yeah, but the rest of the year it's pretty depressing.
Why are we recording this episode at home? Because we had this amazing plan.
Yeah, we had an idea that we were going to film this outside in the sun, in the night, with a nice view, with the mountains in the background, and it started raining right when we were about to start. So we had to pivot. So
I hope our video editor Karolinka will be happy with this because I'm so stressed.
We have to
She's
please our video editor.
Terrorist, but we love her.
We're trying something different.
New.
Yeah. So anyway, we got your cuisines, we got your different cities and states you've been to. What is me personally, because I kind of have a hat in this. We both like museums.
We do love museums.
What's been your favorite museum in America? The one that you've gone to?
You know what that museum is, but again,
do I really though?
Out.
No, but do I really?
You do really. It's not in MoMA, New York.
It's not MoMA?
It's not MoMA.
Because I'm sorry if you're from New York and you're watching this, the MoMA, when I went.
You just have to come to DFW,
the MoMA
to
sucked.
The museum district of city of Fort Worth, and Modern Art Museum in Fort Worth. One of my absolute favorites. I spent life there for years. Yeah,
the Modern Art Museum in Fort Worth. Yeah. She loved it.
Amazing.
It's okay.
An amazing Japanese architect, I think, designed it. It's just amazing. I love it.
I'm not a big fan of modern art. Sometimes they had cool stuff.
And I think they had a pretty decent budget because they were always able to
they put in some big exhibits.
Great artists.
Yeah. But I liked the Kimball and the Amon Carter.
Yeah, the Chelsea district in New York is not bad in general, museum-wise and galleries-wise. But yeah, Museum of Modern Art in Fort Worth. Fort Worth Modern Art Museum.
Texas is getting some love. You got brisket.
Washington is getting some love. Texas is getting some love. I've built homes in both Cities made friends. Sorry, states made friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there something that comes to mind that you just want to share about your experience being here for 10 years, or?
I honestly want to share that, and I don't want to sound it like this Hollywood, dream, but you truly can achieve whatever the heck you want if you put your head into it, some thought, some hard work. And when you vocalize your dreams, usually people around you will help you achieve them.
And it helps keep you accountable too, right?
It helps keeping you accountable a bit also, and maybe it's going back to American dream, but I have this comparison. I lived in different countries. I lived in Poland. There is a difference. And just that ability of really, this is a country for achievers, in my opinion. And I love the fact that whenever people make it, they try to help others out. There's a lot of giving back. Even I love like the entire nonprofit culture and how entrepreneurs, and when you even see people giving back all the time, like even if they make 5 figures little revenue, they still want to give back.
Yep.
So that focus on local communities and just trying to make sure everybody's thriving, that's very important. And that's so doable. And I don't know, I acquired a bit of that culture too.
Absolutely.
I tried to, donate back. And as you know, I was involved in many art projects, always pro bono work in Europe. But here,
you like how people tend to contribute to their communities, whether
I love it.
Small business, their school system, their government, their neighborhood.
It's very heartwarming and inspiring, and it got that bug in me. Wherever I go, I try to think immediately, how can I change somebody's life, and maybe small business owner's life, or what can we contribute to? What's the problem? Is it within my wheelhouse to somehow help? And I will say something that completely breaks my heart in America.
Okay.
Because that serving mindset that many citizens have, that for some unknown to me reason doesn't apply to the mental health care system.
Okay.
And I know there's so much problem of you always correct me kind of, because you're not supposed to be saying homeless.
I don't correct you. I say homeless. Is there another word?
Whenever I was learning English, that wasn't an offensive term, right? But it changes over time.
Wait, that's an offensive term?
You should say now unhoused. But you see those unhoused people.
I never knew that. You just taught me.
Okay. The point is that it's not about the term, but the general.
No, homelessness is
like
a problem.
a lot of people who are unhoused, who are homeless, they have mental health problems.
It's either drug addiction or mental health.
So I guess that part was very, very painful to watch in America, like how quickly the same system that praises you for your hard work will help you downgrade.
Yeah.
And how easy it is. How you can get kicked
lose
out
everything.
of an apartment after what? Like you don't pay several days and you get an eviction notice.
Yeah,
eviction?
Depends on where you are. I think here in like Washington,
I know, but like in
there's
general,
a renter rights
this
or whatever.
is a general idea. Like you don't perform, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, you got to work. Well,
and again, that goes back to the.
It depends, though. You can get on the system and
how expensive, in general, healthcare is. That's a big difference. So, I understand that people who require mental health care, they can't get it. It's not something you choose to have. It's not something there are some circumstances that are very neutral. And
so can I ask you this? How do you guys deal with homeless in Poland? Because I know from experience, I don't ever see homeless people in Poland. I see drunk people.
There are
but I never see homeless people.
Although there are many shelters. We make sure that there's enough shelters to house people.
But what if they don't want to do the shelters? Because the people here don't a lot of them here don't
because
want to do the
America has a
shelters.
huge drug problem.
That's the problem, is the
That's
drugs.
the problem.
Yeah.
Although I honestly because a lot of drunk people alcoholics in general in Poland, I think they are allowed to still sleep in a shelter, but again, that's not a verified information. That's why it's mental health awareness month, and as Raise Your Media, we always try to somehow participate in
right now is mental health awareness.
Yeah, May. I didn't ask you this time because I did put out some information on my own, but in general, I understand that prevention is super important, and how you day to day are able to take care of yourself, and there are many things you can do. And I think the more mental health awareness knowledge we spread in terms of the prevention itself, the healthier communities we will all build, because this system is not ready yet to treat broke people. And that's what I do not necessarily love about America.
When you say broke, you mean like people who lost all their money?
Lost all their money? You know what? That's insane.
Or broken people. Are you saying broken people or broke people?
No. I'm saying you have to be wealthy to take advantage of the healthcare that's in front of you.
You got to be. You have to have a job that provides it, and you have to pay into it and still be able to survive off of the money that you have left from paying taxes, paying healthcare. Yeah. It's.
So I guess that's one issue I would like to address. That's somewhat not positive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how we can address it. It's because from my understanding, there's like Washington State.
Bringing awareness is also addressing it, you know?
Sure. But Washington State, we've committed millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to fight the problem of homelessness, from what I understand.
But we're talking mental health.
Oh, mental health?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about homelessness. I don't know. Mental health is out of my wheelhouse. I am a big supporter of mental health, like hygiene, good mental hygiene. I think that a lot of people, I don't know, I think there's more attention on it today than it was when I was growing up. I think a lot of people maybe dealt with depression and whatnot that didn't know that they were depressed or didn't know that they had they needed mental help.
Yeah.
And I'll just say it, as a Black person in the Black culture, when I was growing up, mental health wasn't something that you really was even talked about.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, mental health, what's that? You know? So the fact that now is a thing, we've made a lot of progress, let me tell you. Because now even Black people talk about and discuss mental health. So I think we are making progress.
That's great.
Yeah. So I think we pretty much got an hour. Is there anything else that you want to talk about on your 10 years of being in America?
Didn't ask me what does connection mean to me.
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought it up.
You know, I was just kind of waiting for the past 30 minutes.
Well, we had such a good conversation today. I kind of got lost.
But I will tell you, I want to circle back to those 10 years ago.
Okay.
If it wasn't for our beautiful connection, I wouldn't be here.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't be here. Yeah. So our connection, human to human, genuine, across the world, digital connection is the very reason we are married. We have a business. We've built this beautiful life for ourselves here. And I don't take it for granted. And I guess I don't want to be overly philosophical here.
If you can be overly philosophical anywhere, it's here.
It's sure, but I am not a philosopher.
Okay.
Myself, but I genuinely want to encourage people to not neglect or marginalize the fact that you can build genuine connections online.
That's what I was
And
going to.
it's not about. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, we tend to like me and the past guests. We tend to go on the negative side of the online connection.
Mm-hmm.
We did acknowledge that you can connect, but there's just a darker side to it as well. That's
Look
all.
at us. Look at.
Well, this is the good side. This is the bright side.
Look at this beautiful
Yes.
relationship we've built.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of did it very seamlessly, naturally online.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking, listening to each other. First upgrade from chat connection to the phone connection.
Yeah, and that was all
phone connection to the video conversations.
Yeah, and that was all we had.
And then I introduced you on Skype to my mom and my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That was gone. Like, that's it.
And that was all we had. We could only get to know each other and talk.
I think that's why we're such best friends now.
Yeah.
Such great friends. Because we started with friendship. And believe me, whenever we've built such a great connection that whenever I picked you up from the airport, I felt the same person.
Yes.
There was no, because sometimes you say, people are building these relationships online and they meet in person.
They get catfished.
Or something goes sideways, or, people tend to, send each other fake pictures. It's insane. It's insane these days. But because we genuinely got fascinated with each other, we build it up. No fakeness. We did say to each other, we're not playing games. So our story taught me that connection can be built across the world despite the circumstances. You don't have to, and I understand that post-pandemic, everybody wants to be in person. But online got me a husband and a business partner, so I'm a believer.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, and I think it's more common now, too, for people to meet their significant other. That's how dating goes now, I think, is they do it on, what is it? Swipe right, swipe left? That's like the common thing now. So
totally.
You're absolutely right. There is a beautiful side to the digital aspect of connection.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we are an example of that.
Absolutely.
Yes. On that note, I guess we can end it on that. It's a happy ending, right?
Happy ending.
Thank you for being a guest, taking the time to record this episode with me. I think we had a good conversation. It was like a normal conversation.
We have great conversations.
We always have good conversations,
but being able to take myself on that a decade journey, it's insane. I will never take it for granted. I love being a Polish immigrant in America, and I proudly hold American passport. And I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Low-key, genuinely happy here.
And it flew by for me.
Absolutely.
Like 10 years, where did it go?
Yep.
I can still remember like this.
Same.
Like the beginning. Like
Absolutely.
It was just a year or two ago.
It was.
It's crazy.
Well, thank you, Marcus. I can't tell enough great things about the way you progress as a human, connecting to others.
Thank
And every single episode, you are, polishing yourself a little bit. You're getting
I'm trying.
more put together, and you're an excellent conversationalist. But
thank you.
I love you.
That.
I thank you. Maybe we will follow up in 10 years.
Yeah, maybe. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Or do I say
Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
Pa, pa.